Do you have a dirty little secret? Welcome to the club.
And you're all invited.
The first rule of the Dirty Little Secrets Club is tell everyone about the Dirty Little Secrets Club.
We're handing out memberships, free of charge.
Step up to the VIP line and let Dayna and Brimstone take you on a weekly ride of secrets and debauchery.
Now buckle up, Buttercup, because things are about to get heated on the Dirty Little Secrets Club.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Dirty Little Secrets Club. I'm Dayna Pereira.
And this is Brimstone.
We got a holiday weekend ahead of us, Brim. You got any plans?
I'm supposed to be signing at EternalCon here on Long Island. All weekend long. But I am unsure of what I am going to actually be doing, simply because I haven't. No, I'm going to be completely blunt. I haven't been promoted. It's an oversight and so forth. But if I haven't been promoted and I'm the only one who promoted it, then it's a half-ass type of a thing. So I don't know. It's no offense to them. Look, things happen. Things are crazy. I've known them for a long time. Love the people over there at EternalCon. There's no qualms with them.
Right.
But I was not put onto the website until today, and I'm supposed to be signing in 2 days from now. Now I'm just I don't know. I think I'm gonna call it halfway, and I'm gonna work on Saturday. I'll sign on Saturday, and then on Sunday, I'm gonna spend with the family. That's the way I'm looking at.
That sounds like a good compromise.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. See how I feel. How was your trip, Day? How was your trip?
My trip was incredible. So my husband took me to San Francisco. We stayed at the Four Seasons. We ate delicious food. We had oysters out the ass. I walked across the Golden State Bridge. I fell in love with Sausalito. I had me some action in the bedroom.
Oh.
It was just, the whole trip was lovely. And then we got home and my husband has COVID. And now
Not
my
so good.
5-year-old has COVID. So I'm expecting that I too will end up with COVID, but we'll see what happens. 4th of July, I was planning on just hanging out at my house anyways. So that's what I'll do. I'll sit in my backyard. Maybe I'll have a fever. Maybe I won't. Time will tell.
Wow. Joe, what happened, man? What happened? Jesus Christ.
We got too excited. We got too excited about traveling, I think, and like feeling normal again. And, we were around a lot of people. We were at a farmer's market and, the airport and all of these things. And, I think it's a good reminder, like, yo, COVID is still out there existing in the world, whether we want it to or not.
Yeah. Look, I still have the cough from when I had COVID that I still can't shake. And how long ago was that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A year ago, you're a long hauler.
Well over. Yeah. So now I'm just like, it's COVID's real, people, whether you want to believe it or not, it's real, whether it affects you in the same way it affects me or somebody else, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, it's there. And, this cough has not gone away. So it's awful. So when you were in San Fran, did you do the LGBTQ parade? Did you do the gay pride parade?
So we were actually in the heart of downtown, like the Embarcadero area.
Okay.
And that's where the gay pride parade was going through.
Okay.
And so, I feel like I should spin that back. It's not just the gay pride parade. It's just the pride parade.
Pride parade.
Yeah. So it was going through there. But it was on Sunday, and Sunday was the day we were leaving. So we had to be at the airport. Our flight was at like noon. I think the pride parade started at 10. So we actually had to haul ass out of there at like 8 because they were shutting down all of the streets. So we actually missed it, which I was bummed about.
That's such a fun parade. What do you call it? Such a fun parade. I was preparing for some stuff, so I couldn't go to anything to support this year. But you know what I've been working on and everything. But yeah, like crazy. Couldn't get there, but I would have loved to have. My daughter went to one this year, upstate. What do you call it? My older daughter, Samantha. So and she had a great time as always. By the way, are you branding currently? Am I seeing a branding experience on your breasts? Not that I'm looking at your breasts. I wasn't looking at your breasts, but I saw the logo.
I am repping the Dirty Little Secrets Club today.
That's what I'm talking about.
There we go.
There we go.
Nice?
Branding people. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to look at your chest. I just was like, is that one of our shirts?
Well, to be fair, that is where the lettering is. So.
Yes. But I didn't want you or people. Well, I know you don't think so. I don't want people to think I'm hyper focusing on your chest.
My
but chest the chest assist. What do you call it? But yes, no. What do you call it? Because the hair was covering both sides.
Damn,
but I saw the T and the Y, and I go, is that's the logo, isn't it?
Dirty.
It's looking good. It's looking good. Did you wear that when you were in San Fran?
I didn't wear that while I was
Shame
in San
on you.
Fran. I know.
Shame on you.
I know.
That one would have worked in San Fran.
Yeah. Well, so we had all of these reservations at these like super nice restaurants.
And so you got dressed nice.
So I was dressed nice every night. Gotcha. And then, but we walked our asses off. I think one day we walked like over 7 miles one day. It was awesome. Yeah.
I would walk 7 miles and then I'd walk 7 more.
It was
just
worth
to be
it.
That man who walked 7 miles in San Fran. Oh, yeah. I got nothing.
I was waiting to see how you were going to finish that one.
I got nothing. You want to know why? Because my phone was going off. I'm trying to figure something out in my head. It all didn't work well.
Too
but
many
it's
tabs
okay.
open, Brim.
Too many tabs. Too many tabs. I'm feeling like one of the women's right now. Because all your tabs are open all the time. You've got
constantly.
Those like the file cabinets with everything kind of like open and like papers out and like here I'm working on this. That's where I'm at right now. I have female brain right now. There you go. I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult, but take it whichever way you'd like.
I'm going to say compliment because we might have all the drawers open and the tabs open and the papers everywhere. But if you ask us, where's this? We're like, boom, right here. Got it.
Yeah.
Here we go. We know where everything is.
Yeah. Well, not to get political, and we sure know that I'm not a Republican, but what do you call it? What's her face? One of the I can't remember who said it, but it was a great statement, is that, well, the world is currently being run by men and it's not going so well, is it? It's not really going too well, is it?
Really isn't.
Yeah. So what do you call it? Not
especially
to shout anybody
for women,
out, but
because men think that they can take our rights away. So yeah,
exactly.
It's really not going well for us.
Yeah. So it was one of those. I'm all for women. I'm women rights all the way. You guys know that. You know that. And you know what kills me? And then we're gonna get into the show, but because I don't want to get too far into this, because then we're gonna rabbit hole.
Yes, we will,
what do you call it?
For sure.
And I know you're not necessarily feeling very well right now, so I want to make sure to get through this. But I actually tried. I sat for an hour the other day and I wrote out an entire post on on the whole my support of women's rights and how this is not right and so forth, and how people are not seeing each other's perspective. And I what do you call it? I wrote a big, and it started out as perspective, and everybody has a perspective and so forth. And just because you have a certain perspective on things, in terms of the people that think that women shouldn't have abortions or shouldn't have the right to decide and so forth, just because I respect your right to feel that way and believe that way, but you should also respect my right and Dayna's right and every other woman's right to be able to do with her body what she pleases. And the fact of the matter is that I've built a whole career on trust with my fans, and that I'm very, very I wear my heart on my sleeve when it comes to things like this, and and I try not to get political, and I don't want to ever be that guy, and I try to hear everybody's point of view. But what's right is right.
It's a fine line to walk.
Right. What's right is right. And the fact is I look at everything with respect. And what people that are on both sides should do is they should look and work with respect towards one another. Understand where you might be coming from, but you also got to understand where the other side is coming from. And somewhere we have to find a way to meet in the middle. I understand 100% how people can be so, are they killing kids because they're not getting the full idea of what it is. Maybe they just can't grasp it. I don't know what it is.
But their religion is not my religion.
Exactly.
And I am not held to the same religious God standards that you are trying to hold me and other women to. I do not believe that a group of cells is a human being.
And it's not.
Personally.
It's not.
And I understand if you think it is, and if you feel that way, that is okay. If you
Absolutely.
get pregnant, don't have an abortion. But your
Exactly.
standards are not my standards. And
Exactly.
I think that if you don't want me to hold you to my standards, then it needs to work both ways. You can't hold me to your standards or to your beliefs if I cannot also do the same and hold you to my standards and beliefs. It has
Amen,
to be
sister.
a two-way street there.
I tried writing that post. I don't even think I finished saying it. I tried writing that post. I took an hour to write it out to make sure it was worded properly and everything was done. So I didn't, offend people that, might be easily offended. And
Right.
and I put it down there. And as I was going to do it, I got a bunch of things come in all at once. I fat fingered something and it deleted my entire thing.
Oh no.
So that's why the post wasn't made. So I just wanted to, that's why I feel like a jackass, because I couldn't say anything on Grindhouse. I didn't get to post that. And I was like, I'm definitely going to mention something here, because I know you and I are on the same, side of the fence with this, that,
Yeah.
we need to do better. Do better, America. That's it. Do better. Anyway, what do you call
100%.
it? Let's get on to more fun stuff here,
Yeah.
and
let's lift the mood a little,
yeah,
shall we?
yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if you cut half of that out, but what do you call it? Anyways, what do you call it? So am I starting to you? I'm starting,
it is
right?
you. Yes.
Okay. All right. So the first writer says, my wife and I were drinking one night and she casually mentions that she thinks it would be hot, capital H-O-T, hot, to watch me fuck her best friend. Obviously, I thought it was a trap, so I said I would never. But recently, when we were sober, she mentioned it again. I'm so confused on how to respond. I still kind of feel like it's a trap, but if it's not a trap, then I get to fuck her hot best friend. All right. Okay. This can go either way. I'm gonna let you take this first, because
I feel like it must be in her head if she said it drunk and sober. I think the drunk one is usually whenever our filter kind of comes off a little bit, and then we kind of like tiptoe into it. But then the next day we can be like, oh, but I was drunk. I was just kidding. If we get like self-conscious about what we said. But if you said it both ways, I feel like maybe she's not kidding. It's not a trap. I think maybe you might get to fuck her hot best friend.
Well, first and foremost, I mean, the thing that goes off in my head is like Admiral Akbar in Star Wars. It's a twap. It's a twap. You know what I mean? It's like, all I see is that big fish head. At the end of the day, here it is, one, I guess, you'd have to be into it. And if you're into it, then that's a positive for the situation. Two, what I think you need to do is have a real sit down conversation with her about it while you're both sober and say, listen, I know you brought this up. I want to know where your head is with this. What are you really thinking? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not say that you want to do it. Just ask her why she thinks that she wants to see this. Is this real? Would this make her happy? You know what I'm saying? If this is going to be what makes you happy, then, we can consider maybe doing something, but, I would tread that line very, very lightly, and
maybe
just in case
don't
it's
call
a
her the best friend either. Maybe keep the hot best friend out. Just be like, yo, your friend, you're just your friend.
Yeah.
Not hot best friend.
Yeah. And I think you should also bring up, say, is this going to change the whole dynamic of our relationship? And is it going to change the relationship between you and your friend, or myself and your friend, or the three of us together? Like, here we are. I wouldn't be thinking of this unless you brought it up. But since you brought it up, I would like to know where your head is with it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Totally. Yeah. I'm actually starting to wonder now if she has done this before with her best friend. I have to assume that the best friend came before the husband did. I mean, maybe not, but.
Well, I mean, that's only the nice thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Make sure woman comes first. Listen, I'm sorry, hon. I do everywhere. And sometimes it just doesn't work that way. But anyway.
I have to assume, but maybe she's done this before and now she's tiptoeing into it with her husband. She's like, yeah, we did this before. It was fun. Maybe he wants to try it too. But I don't know. It still could be a trap. I don't know your wife. Some of us are fucking nuts. You know, sometimes we are trying to trap you so that we can be like, oh, what do you, I knew it. I knew you wanted to fuck my best friend.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, she might have a feeling or think that you have some, the hots for her friend. And if that's the case, she might be trying to get that out of you. And maybe that's what's on her mind. She thinks that you want to do it. So, it all comes down to the way you come at it. And honestly, you can either just leave it be and not bring it up at all. Or if you're interested in it, I'm sorry for coughing in the mic. If you're not interested in it, I'm sorry, if you are interested in it, you can say, like I said, look, I would have in a million years never thought of this. I don't look at so-and-so like that. It's not necessarily anything I've ever been interested in, but again, if it's something that is gonna make you happy, I mean, I'll have the conversation about it because I want you to be happy, but I also don't want to ruin our dynamic because I love you. And so, you know what I'm saying? So
I think that's a very, very good way to approach it. Like, okay, listen, you've mentioned this twice now. It's not necessarily something that I have ever considered because I don't look at her that way.
Right.
But if this is a conversation that you need to have, I want to support you and your fantasies as well. So let's have a conversation about it.
Yeah, there you go. And then hope that she doesn't turn around and go, oh yeah, now I want to fuck this guy. Yeah, that shit doesn't fly either.
She's like, so your best friend.
Yeah.
I mean, what if we maybe talked about and all of a sudden it's a big orgy now.
Yeah, no, sir. What do you call it? All my best friends except for you are ugly. So, just kidding. They're all nice looking people. What do you call it? So I would suggest that. And I think Dayna, you agreed with me. So
yeah,
I think between the two of us, I think you got some solid information there. It is up to you how you choose to use it. And please let us know what happens. I mean,
especially
or if you get
a trap.
Yeah, it's a trap. All right, it's up to you, my friend. It's up to you. You're next.
All right. This one says, I put whiskey in my coffee every single morning.
Bazinga.
Not enough to get drunk, but enough for me to take the edge off of dealing with my stupid ass coworkers. I don't want you to make it into an alcoholic thing. I barely drink otherwise, but this group that I work with is brutal. And honestly, I don't know if I could handle them otherwise.
Wow. Oofa. Well, first and foremost, you might want to reconsider where you work.
Yeah, that sounds pretty bad.
That sounds pretty bad. Listen, I'm not going to fault you for throwing a little bit of drinky drink inside the, what do you call the cuppy cup? Because, I didn't today because I had things I had to get done. But I did consider it. But what do you call it? But I definitely, I'll throw in a little bit of Jaeger, sometimes because I got the Jaeger machine in the green room, or, if I'm at home, I'll make the, make myself an Irish coffee, you know what I mean? Throw in a little bit of Bailey's, a little Kahlua, so yeah, I'll, I'm not drinking to get drunk. I'm drinking just to have a little bit of a taste and, just be like, okay, just relax a little bit. I've got a lot going on, a long day. Let me just, I don't necessarily, just take the edge off a little. So I get it. I do get it. It doesn't make you a drinker. It doesn't make you a drunk.
Right.
And as long as you're careful with it and you don't allow it. As long as you're being
honest with us about it.
Yeah. You don't, like, I'll go into the green room and I'll take, because I have the full tap. So the Jägermeister sent me the cold. Did I ever send you a picture of that thing?
You did, like, yeah.
Oh my God, it's so good. But what do you call it? It's like the perfect cold. And so if I have a really hot coffee and I know I just need to take the coffee to wake up, I'll throw some of that in just to chill it out a little bit so I can drink it.
It's like an alcoholic ice cube.
Yeah, there you go. What do you call? But I get it, man. But I would absolutely reconsider where you're working, because honestly, if you're having that much of an issue and these people are jackasses, I would definitely reconsider what you're doing.
Yeah. You don't want to risk liver damage just because of the place that you work. I mean, not only that, it's like the stressful environment. Not only are you risking your liver, you're also like stressed out. Your blood pressure could be high. Like, that just sounds like a whole health hazard. Working in a place that you hate or around people you hate, it is a health hazard.
So when I took a dip out of what do you call entertainment for a hot minute years ago, and I needed to take a minute away and take a break and a breather, and I got in bed with a company, and I was sitting and I was doing some stuff there. What do you call it? I don't want to out who they are and so forth, but it was supposed to be a very professional office, and when I was in there, everybody, like the large portion of people that were in there were not only just drinking all day long, but they were dropping 8 balls.
Oh shit.
What do you call it? They were fucking in the bathrooms. Like it was a crazy free for all, and it didn't matter because one, the bosses were involved, but two, the fact of the matter is that everybody was making money. You know what I mean? So
did Leonardo DiCaprio work there?
It was very much like that. Because the person who was running it, and I still talk to him to this day, don't get me wrong. I have no qualms with him or most of the people that are there, that were there. Company's no longer around, but he was very much like the Wolf of Wall Street. Matter of fact, he even looked like him. You know what I mean? A little bit. So it wasn't him. Don't worry. But love him to death. He could sell. Ice to Eskimos. Incredible salesperson. And I admired that, and that's why I decided I was going to work with them on the stuff that I was working with them, because I knew I could do well while I was taking my time to get my brain back together.
Right. Yeah.
So, but my point for bringing up the story is to say, hey, what do you call it? Like, I understand that kind of environment. And, when you're in an unprofessional environment is not healthy. It is not healthy for you. It's obviously not healthy for them. And you should absolutely remove yourself from it. To a certain extent where I'm just like, well, I'm getting back into my entertainment thing now. And I was done and I walked out, I built a business there, that I had a piece of, and I did what I had to do. I got a good payout, and that was that, So, at the end of the day, people, if it's a bad situation, just like a relationship at home, if it's a bad, toxic relationship at home, you need to decide whether you're going to stay, you're going to go. And chances are it's better off if you go and not stay. Let's look at Johnny Depp. I mean, it's the craziest thing I've ever heard. It took you a second there, man. Took you a second.
I caught up.
Anyways, do you have anything else to say about that one?
No. People think that they have to stay in toxic situations, jobs, relationships, all of the above. You don't. Move on. Those happy people that you're like, oh, I wish I could be like them. You can. You just gotta fucking make the move. So do it.
Unless it's with me, I can be as toxic as I want. You have to stay with me. I'm just kidding.
It's a good thing you're not toxic.
I am like the least toxic person. Listen. I'm not. I have been toxic in the past, not too toxic, but I have.
Me too.
A couple. Like sometimes, especially in the environment that you're in, sometimes it just happens. You don't even mean for it to happen. But at the end of the day, like, I am the most proactive, go rah 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 person, and like, let's make this work as humanly possible. So as are you. I mean, I don't know how anybody couldn't work with you. It boggles my mind. You know what I mean? It boggles my mind. You know
what? I'm a really easygoing person.
I know.
I'm not a pushover. So I think that's where people get confused, because they're like, oh, you're really easygoing. And then whenever I start to stand up for myself, they're like, wait a minute. I thought that I could rule the roost here. And I'm like, well, no. I'm easygoing, just not a pushover.
There we go. All right. I'm going to move on to the next one, if that's okay with you.
Yes, please.
Oh, yes, please. I know.
Look at how easy that was. You see that? I said yes. You said, can I do that? I said, yes, go for it. Easy going.
But there was a little bit of a tone in there with the yes, please, because that was like, hey, Brim, I need to hurry up, and you're taking way too long on this episode. See, I got that. I caught that. That was a passive aggressive Dayna right there. You toxic bitch. I don't know what's.
Just going to go put some whiskey in my coffee. And
I love you. All right, let's go. I have a virgin kink. Not kids, though. Gross. If I find out a male in his 20s is still a virgin, I offer to teach them. It's a win-win. I get to satisfy my virgin kink, and they get to rack up some experience and confidence. Very interesting. Hey, I'm a virgin.
You just have a line around the block. Everyone's like, yeah, me too. Me too. I'm a virgin. I swear.
Yeah, just a little bit of punani. No, I don't know. Listen, I get it. What do you call it? Maybe that for some ladies, I mean, that's like a conquest.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
but then again, don't you want a little experience? Like, do you really want? Well, I guess you offer to teach.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yeah. I think it's a power move kind of a thing. I think that because people remember their first. You never forget your first. And so I think maybe there might be a little bit of a power play there where you're like, you will fucking remember me forever. I'm not going to be just like a conquest you met in a bar one night that you're going to fucking forget my name and forget about me in 10 years. I will always be your first. And that's, maybe I'm wrong, but that's kind of how it felt for me. I mean, you remember your first, right?
You really want me to answer that?
Okay.
I don't remember.
What?
No, I do remember. I'm pretty sure the person I'm thinking of was my first.
I remember my first time. I remember that he had his shoes on. It was on the living room floor. There was a party going on in the kitchen. I was pretty drunk.
Dirty little thing, you.
I got on top.
What?
Yeah. And
so you remember all of this?
Oh, I remember it all. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And I also remember that several months later, he didn't talk to me for a month afterwards. And
Asshole.
Then several months later, whenever we did finally start talking again and we like became really close again, I was sleeping on his couch, or maybe it was the floor, whatever. And his friend and him were talking, and he was like, yo, did you tell her yet? And he was like, no, shut up, man. No, I didn't tell her. And he's like, dude, you need to tell her that you were a virgin. So I found out as I was sleeping on his floor that he was also a virgin. I took his virginity as well as him taking my virginity.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's a lot to unload. Okay. I can't even remember. Honestly, I don't even remember the first time. I don't. That's scary. Pretty sure I remember who. But I mean, there have been so many experiences since, and I've been with my wife for 20 years, and not to save face with her. The fact is, I really don't remember much before her, like faces or names, as awful as that sounds. I mean, there's a few, don't get me wrong. So if you're listening, ladies, I didn't forget about all of you. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to be a douche, but I've been with my wife for 20 years. So there's really, it's hard for me to remember what I ate last week. You know what I'm saying?
All those tabs are open. So
yes, but that's why people ask me, why do you take pictures of your food? Well, one, because I'm a foodie. Two, so I remember what I had when somebody asks me, right? It's like, what'd you eat the other day? I don't fucking know. Here, this, it was really good. Oh, I see there's the picture. See, it looks good. It's delicious, right? Yeah, man. Now I know I can go back there again because I didn't forget that I liked it.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good hack. Maybe.
I'm trying, Dayna. I'm trying. listen, just work with me here. I don't want to take a shitstorm for this.
I find it insane that you do not remember 100% your first time. I'm gonna have to put a poll out on Twitter or something and see who remembers their first time and who has forgotten who it was. Because I think you might be in the minority here.
I think I think I was wrong with the person.
Oh.
I think I was wrong with the person. I think it was a different person, and because I lost it early. I was at like 12.
Oh damn!
I was
you and Dak Shepard neck and neck.
Yeah. What do you call it? And I remember. I'm not saying names, but what do you call it? I remember the person, and I remember I was there, and she was a little bit older, and I remember that she was like, like. I'm a virgin, and what do you call it? And I was a virgin at the time.
Right.
And she's like, I trust you. I want to let's do stuff together. I was like,
Hmm.
okay.
Okay, it's
Um,
coming back to you. It's coming back to you.
but that's as far. That's really and honestly, I forgot all about that. I forgot all about that. I was thinking that it was my first long-term girlfriend, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Because I had already been active with multiple people before her. So yeah. Which
Yeah.
is really, which is yeah.
Damn, you were 12. I was 17, almost 18. I was a month away from turning 18.
Yeah, but you know
Late
what?
bloomer.
I shouldn't have. I see that. Here's the thing: is like, knowing what I know now. I mean, I probably shouldn't have started that early. I should have had my innocence a little bit longer. You know what I mean? Yeah, I became a man before my bar mitzvah, which is even better. But at the end of the day, did I really become a man? Like, what did I
Right.
do? I busted a nut. Like,
Yeah.
because here's the thing: is God forbid something would have went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with the rules of today.
Yep.
If like now what, you're going to be 12, 13 with a kid, you know what
Uh-huh.
I'm saying? And that's not fair to put on a child, whether because people make mistakes,
Yep.
so thinking about it now, and again, not remembering, wow, I can't believe I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
See, I had a lot of friends who were girls, and I was a cute kid at the time, so what do you call it, like I was passed around like, yeah, like the neighborhood bicycle, you know what I'm saying? Like I was,
Everyone
I
got a
was,
ride.
there's like from the girls that I used to hang out with when I was around that age, there were only maybe a couple that I didn't do anything with. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying that I slept with all of them,
Right,
but there
right,
were
right.
other things done
Mm-hmm.
and had, like, but I started early, and that's, I don't know, man. Maybe that's why I was quasi good at it, but at the end of the day, I think that if I would have kept my innocence a little bit longer, it probably would have been a little bit better off, because I wasn't mentally ready then, and
Right.
I probably would have treated women better when I was younger, rather than the way I wasn't dismissive, but I wasn't, it was kind of like, typical guy where, like,
Right.
it's like, all right, well, just like you said, well, he slept with you and then, you didn't talk for a month,
Mm-hmm.
like I was that guy for a while, and then and I needed to stop doing that because that was wrong. And
Yeah.
what do you call it, like, one, casual sex is one thing,
Uh-huh.
but being that age, it's not casual sex. It is girls that are giving up their womanhood, for somebody who's not prepared to really give any kind of a mental,
Yeah. And it's almost like a contest at that point. Like whenever one of your friends is doing it and then they start talking about it, and then you're like, oh, well, I need to do it too because I don't
yeah,
want to be the only one that's not doing it. And, like, so it's unfortunately, it kind of ends up that way where it's like, okay, well, this person's doing it. That means that I have to do it because if I'm not doing it, they're going to think that I'm a nerd. And
yeah,
then, so it ends up being and honestly, it doesn't have to be a special thing. Nobody needs to have like the love of their life when they're losing their virginity, but it ends up and being like a contest, rather a competition, rather than like, oh, this thing just happened when I was ready for it to happen.
yeah. And that's not, and yeah, I don't know. I'm just, I have regrets, like, I have, just like everybody else, I have regrets. But again, I am where I am, and I've done what I've done, and that's it, and I've learned from it, and that's it. I can
Yeah.
pass that on to my kids, and and I'd like to think that all my kids are responsible, and that's
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and my son is not the way I was, and he's had long-term relationships, so he's with, this third girl that he's with, and it's, he's already been with her over a year. The one before that was what, 3 years. The one before that
Mm-hmm.
was a couple of years, you know what I mean? So, and
Yeah.
he's not, when he's with the girl, and I'm like, well, you're a little young, you should be soiling your oats a little bit, and he's like, he goes, I'm in a relationship. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
It's
I,
interesting because not
that's
everybody
good.
feels the need to do that. They're just like, no, I'm cool. I'm comfortable doing what I'm doing here.
Exactly, and that's fine. That is fine, fine, fine. But all right, so who's next? You're next.
It is me. Yes.
Okay.
My best friend got really pissed at me when I said that money was important to me in a relationship. I don't understand why I shouldn't say that. Money is important to me. I want a house. I want kids. I don't want to struggle. I'm not saying that I need a millionaire or that I want to be spoiled rotten and not work. I just think that I work really hard and the person I'm with should match my success so we can accomplish the things we want together. Am I wrong?
Do you want to take this first?
Um,
I,
sure, I'll take it first.
yeah,
If I think that it takes a strong person to recognize what works for them in a relationship. And
yeah,
if money is important to you and you are being upfront about that, I personally don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you have a certain goal in mind, now that's not to say that if you meet somebody and you fall in love with them and they don't make as much money as you, I don't think that you should just like throw that person away, because situations change all the time. You never
mhm,
know what a money situation is going to be. Maybe they're starting off in college, or maybe they are ground level at their job and they're going to climb the corporate ladder, or maybe they
entertainment.
invent something, entertainment. Yeah, so I think it's okay for you to understand that that is important to you, but I also don't think that you should ride that train to the end, because you can't predict the future and what people are going to accomplish in their lifetimes. And if you fall in love with somebody but their paycheck doesn't match yours, I I I don't necessarily think that you should throw that away, because money isn't the most important thing. Um, but then again, if you have a guy and you're like, oh, he sits and plays video games all day and he lets me do all the work, and that upsets you, then yeah, obviously that's a relationship you shouldn't be in.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm quasi with you, quasi not.
Hmm.
With this situation, first and foremost, here again, the key thing that you said is situations can change at any time.
Yes. Yeah.
So let's say that this young lady is, what do you call it, looking for, this is a woman, right? I
I'm
think.
assuming so.
All right. So this woman, is saying, okay, well, I want somebody who's making money, so this way we can, succeed, blah blah blah, whatever. Or somebody that's going to be able to, you know, um, um, provide,
Hmm.
and so, if you turn away, multiple people who might not be making what you expect them to be making, or that, they might be the perfect match for you, but they're not, they're not making the money. Well, you pick somebody who might not be the right match for you, and then all of a sudden they lose their position, and then they ain't got shit. What now you're gonna leave them, or maybe they were perfect for you
Hmm.
at the time, but then all of a sudden they don't have money, and so now what? You're just gonna leave them because they're not making that money
Right.
anymore.
Yeah.
I hope I'm making sense, because I have a lot of things in my head about this. You know, when with me, entertainment business, there's ups and downs, you know what I
Totally.
mean?
Hmm.
And when I decided on a couple of occasions, who I'm going to be with, you know what I mean, in a relationship, it was very important to me that, the woman wasn't there just for my quote unquote success or money when I had it.
Right.
And what do you call it, but would respect it when I had it, and then respect it and appreciate when I didn't have it, but still
Hmm.
love me the same. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because money comes and goes. You know what I mean? But
Sure does.
the love that is between a strong couple, I mean, you can't beat that. So, at the end of the day, you can get through anything as long as
Hmm.
you work together. But if you're gonna base a relationship on what somebody has financially, that can change at any given point in time.
For
You don't
sure.
know how they're even getting the money. Maybe they have millions, and but then they're going to wind up in prison for 10 years because they were doing something shady.
Yep.
You never know.
You never know.
So you see where I'm kind of,
100%. Yeah, and I
you know,
do agree with you there. It's back to that situations can change kind of a thing, like
yeah,
if you're adding the money in as like, I am looking for somebody that is honest and loyal and, works hard. If, maybe that's the money part. He works hard. He's not lazy or something like that. Like maybe we switch out money and make it a quality of the
driven.
person.
Right, that they
Yeah.
want that I want somebody who's driven. That makes a
Yes.
lot of sense to me. There are people that I know that are with men, women that I know that are with men that are not driven whatsoever. Rather than finding a way to make sure that ends meet, they're playing video games or wasting money or doing things that they shouldn't be doing. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
that I can understand and I can appreciate 100%.
Yeah.
Determination and and pure chutzpah. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I feel that a man or a woman for that matter
Mm-hmm.
should be driven and they should want to move forward. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And also that want to support their significant other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, and look, my ex was non-supportive and she was lazy and she didn't want to do anything. And I'm not trying to bash her, but that was not what I wanted. It
Right.
turned out to be
Yeah.
not what I wanted, but I wouldn't have known that until I was with her for a longer period, the period of time I was with her. And I said, this is just not working,
Yeah.
and that's why I did the things I did. But what do you call it? At the end of the day, it doesn't necessarily make her a bad person. It just means that we weren't the right fit.
Yeah, you wanted different things. You were going in different directions. And I really do think that maybe we swap out that, oh, they need to have money thing for an actual quality rather than something that's tangible,
Yeah.
because money it can just poof go away. But
Mhm.
if you have a person that is driven and goal oriented, that doesn't really go away. That's already kind of like inbred in them.
Mhm.
Unless they like hit depression or something like that, but that's still something that you can get back. And I think maybe just swapping those words out might make you more successful in that relationship.
I believe so. I believe so. I think that I don't need a millionaire. Well, okay, I get it, but money can be important to you, but I'm telling you, money is not everything. And
Right.
you want house, you want kids, you don't want to struggle. I get it. I do get it.
Mm-hmm.
But then maybe you should be looking for somebody who is who is got their head on straight rather than somebody who's necessarily making their money right now.
Or make
Um,
those your goals. If
yeah,
you
make them
want
your
kids
goals.
and you want house and you want to not struggle, make those your goals. And then, not necessarily don't make the goals for your partner, make them your goals. And then that
Yeah.
partner will fall in.
Right, right. And again, you never know where you're gonna find love. So
Yeah.
looking for love in all the
Found mine on
right
the dance floor.
places. So all right, so we're gonna move on. Do we have time for the last one or no?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So my mother-in-law got me the most god-awful bracelet, and now she wants me to wear it everywhere. It's hideous and has all of these ugly charms that jingle and get stuck on everything. Anyways, I tossed it in the ocean and made a big scene about how upset I was that I lost it, in quotes, lost it while swimming. Now she's threatening to get me another one for my birthday. I'm going to have to figure out a new way to quote unquote lose that one too. Wow. Oofa. Oofa.
That is a
See?
rough situation because you don't want to insult the
Yeah.
mother-in-law over something so silly as a bracelet, but also, yeah, that's rough.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch. Ouch. I listen, man. This is kind of like that Friends episode where
With the
Joey
Joey and the bracelet.
bought that bracelet for Chandler.
I
And
pity
it's
the
like,
fool.
yeah. Oh my God. I see it. Like I can see it in my head right now. And listen, at the end of the day, if you weren't honest and said, oh yeah, thank you so much. I think this is a beautiful, beautiful thought and a beautiful gift. It's really not my style.
Right. Yeah.
Would you be offended if maybe we could go back and pick something out together? You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Or something like that would be a little bit more, appropriate. What do you call it then to throw away something somebody got for you? I appreciate where you went with it, and I see that. But what do you call it? How do you get out of this? The only way to get out of getting a second one, because she's gonna do it if she gives a
Uh-huh.
shit, is she's going to, maybe you say, listen, don't get me the same thing because what do you call it? All it's gonna do is
Fall off
obviously
again.
it's gonna fall off again. So something, is not right. Maybe we can go together and pick something out together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be the way to
It
handle that.
We don't know who the mother-in-law is, though. And I know that sometimes mother-in-laws can be difficult. So maybe she's trying to save herself from a situation where
Maybe.
the mother-in-law is a real pain in the ass or like dramatic
Mm.
or something like that. In which case, I can understand if you're trying to save the drama by just like avoiding it altogether or making up a story in place of what could be the drama. Because sometimes, I mean, I know people out there that are like super offended that you
Yeah.
don't like the hideous gift that they gave you.
Yeah. I've had that happen before.
Yeah.
Yeah. I try to be very, very careful about the stuff that I get for people, but but people have given stuff that I'm like, oh, thank you,
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
and it is what it is. Are you gonna wear it? Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
put that on sometime. Yeah.
I'm saving it for a special occasion.
Very special occasions. Thank you very much. You'll see it. It's my funeral thing. I wear it at funerals.
Yeah. Funerals only.
Oof. Oof. I don't know, man. Yeah. I don't know I don't know what else to say about that.
Yeah.
What are your
Well, let us know when your birthday is and if you end up getting another one. And then also how you lost the new one. Get her
I
a
wonder,
matching one.
I wonder, yeah. Well, that's the thing. Is that her style? Like, is it her style
Right.
that she,
Yeah. Is putting
like,
on to her. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I don't know. Anyways, I think that's about all the time we have, Day.
Yep.
What do you
That's
call it?
it.
One thing that we did not do at the beginning of the show that we should probably do now is you want to give everybody the first little rule of the Dirty Little Secrets Club?
Yeah, guys, the first rule of the Dirty Little Secrets Club is to tell everyone about the Dirty Little Secrets Club.
Absolutely. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for all the messages. We appreciate it. And we'll hit you up on social. Hit us up on social media. Fuck, man.
We'll reply back.
Hit us up on all the social medias, and we will see you again next week.
You think we want something from you, you got another thing coming.